I'm Scotty Smith, and this is USL Quick Strike. I'm recording today on the advanced studio technology known as the iPhone 6S due to time constraints. We'll see what happens. USL has officially rebranded all three of its adult leagues for the 2019 season. Memphis will play in the top USL league, which will be known as the USL Championship. USL D3 will now be known as League One, and Memphis City, assuming they exist next year, will play in USL League 2. The great debate has begun on hashtag soccer Twitter, and some of the opinions and conspiracy theories are rather hilarious. And, of course, it started a conversation about hashtag ProRail4USA. So grab a bag of popcorn and read some of the comments. Start with the breaking news dated 9/24/18 from the account of Nipun Chopra at Nipun Chopra 7. Some believe it unwise to just straight up copy England. Some believe it's about dang time we do things the right way. Read the British way, and some think this somehow translates into a conspiracy theory designed to destroy NPSL Pro before it ever gets started. But the most consistent comment, unsurprisingly, is that none of this matters because there is no hashtag ProRail4USA. If you go back and read the ESPN article about this rebranding, Jake Edwards mentions ProRail and says, basically, this is a step in that direction. He also came on our show in January, and I couldn't resist. I point blank to ask him, what do you think about ProRail? He said, our owners would like to do it, and we are exploring our options for the future. We think it is something we can do. However, we have to build out the D3 first, and I think it's pretty obvious that they are building out the D3, even if that D3 consists of several MLS reserve teams. But the idea is there, and they are setting up the structure for USL ProRail in the future. Step 1 was all about having a third division. Step 2, naming these divisions in a consistent way with what they called an established international model. Step 3, figuring out that whole fee thing. If somebody pays $7 million into a league and somebody else pays $75,000 into a league, you got a little disparity there. Got to find a way to fix that. But they're working on it, friends. They're working on it. I think we're only about 5 years away from seeing ProRail in USL. All right, let's talk about some games. Louisville City used their heads in a 4-0 win over Ottawa. Their first 3 goals were all on rather impressive headers. Ottawa was down a man after a kerfuffle in the 39th minute, and it provided the opportunity for the referee to reach into his pocket. Ottawa technically retains the 8th spot, but it is shaky at best. North Carolina, Tampa, and Nashville are all within a point and have games in hand. Let's not talk about FC Cincinnati. Everybody knows they're going to win the East. Pittsburgh hosted Indy 11 down by the river, and I saw something in this match I had not seen before. A train. A train was powerfully barreling down the track right outside the touchline. I mean, I know that there is a net there, but I love the idea of a ball careening off a train. The imagery in Pittsburgh is too great. Not only do you have boats passing by on the regular, there are trains too. I love that stadium. I love that stadium so much. They also played some soccer. Pittsburgh took a 1-0 lead in the 49th and doubled it just 2 minutes later. Indy pulled one back in the 81st on a deft piece of skill by former Portland Timber Jack McInerney. Sorry, Jack. But a 90th minute penalty gave the Riverhands a 3-1 advantage. The smoke from that goal had literally not even cleared before Jack Mack scored again, and that's as close as Indy got. Pittsburgh 3, Indy 2. Let me also go on record as saying I really like the environment in St. Louis. The stadium only seats about 5,500, so the result is you get a bunch of people just standing around anywhere they can find a place to stand around. And the St. Louligans always bring it, providing a great environment for a USL match. For those in St. Louis hoping for a bigger place to play, watch out now. Be careful what you wish for. Anyway, they defeated San Antonio 2-0 in a match that was as huge for their USL hopes as it could possibly get, and definitely detrimental for San Antonio FC. Speaking of stadiums where people just stand around, the Colorado Springs Switchbacks hosted Phoenix Rising, who are still hopeful of the number 1 seed. 2 first-half goals and a huge second-half save were enough to net Phoenix a 2-1 win. Sacramento Republic took on OKC Energy, and they had a legit chance in stoppage time, but it was off the post. A scoreless draw for those two teams. Reno scored early and Las Vegas answered, then popped one over the bar just before half. They each scored twice in the second half, and it was a fast and furious battle in that rivalry game. It was really just as entertaining to the neutral observer as it could possibly be, and it ended 3-3. Nashville played against Charleston. Tucker Hume and the Charleston goalkeeper combined to give Nashville a 1-0 lead in the 9th minute. Picture a 6'6" striker on a bicycle kick, and the keeper diving after he guessed the right way, but still missed the ball. A ricochet goal in the 24th leveled it for Charleston. A red card in the 60th gave Nashville a man advantage, but they could not take advantage, and the match ended 1-1. Tampa Bay wants to be in the convo for the 8th and final USL Cup spot, and they had a field day against the self-relegating Richmond Kickers. They won 3-0, with all 3 goals coming in the run of play versus a less than stellar defense. Everybody else played MLS reserve sides, so we're just going to pretend they never happened. In fact, the only way I can watch USL is by pretending the MLS reserve sides don't exist. So here are your standings. And this is something that we need to really keep a close eye on in the coming weeks because these last few USL Cup spots are coming down to the wire. FC Cincinnati, of course, in first place. They are 15 points clear of everybody else. Louisville City is on 54 points. They're in second. Pittsburgh Riverhounds in third with 53 points. Charleston Battery is fourth, followed by Bethlehem Steel, Indy 11, Red Bull Reserves, and Ottawa Fury, at least temporarily, on 41 points. North Carolina FC also has 41, but they are finding themselves just outside those USL Cup spots. Tampa Bay Rowdies on 40 points, and Nashville FC on 40 points are right there in the mix. Rounding out the table in the East, Charlotte Independence, Penn FC, Atlanta United, the Richmond Kickers, and Toronto Reserves. Okay, in the West, Orange County is in top form and at the top of the table. They scored some great goals this weekend in a 5-2 win over Salt Lake Reserve. Seriously, go on YouTube and look up the Orange County match dated 9/22/18. You'll see some great goals there. Phoenix Rising is in second place on 59 points, followed by Salt Lake Reserve, Sacramento Republic, Timbers Reserves, Kansas City Reserves. St. Louis FC is in 7th place on 49 points. Reno 1868 is in that final USL Cup spot. San Antonio is in 9th, OKC Energy in 10th, followed by LA Reserves, Fresno, Colorado Springs, RGV, Las Vegas Lights, Tulsa Roughnecks, and our new bottom of the table occupier is Seattle Reserves. We got 3 games for you to watch this week, and 2 of them are tonight. First of all, I'm keeping an eye on Pittsburgh. They play Penn FC tonight at 5:30 Memphis time. If they win, they will jump Lou City and have sole possession of second place. Tampa Bay is also closing in on the 8th and final USL Cup spot. They play Indy 11 tonight at 6 o'clock Memphis time. Phoenix Rising wants to be the top spot in the West. St. Louis just wants a spot in the West. Those two square off Saturday at 9:30 Memphis time. Well, that about does it for us this week. Remember, you can watch all USL matches on ESPN Plus or wherever you illegally pirate USL games. Thank you for listening. Enjoy your soccer, everybody.